if we don't do something, eventually it's going to burn right through here, and if we would leave it unchecked and not try and stop it, it may well end up on the back door of Canberra. So, where do we stand? We have 120 pieces of heavy plant. I've never been to a fire with so many pieces of heavy plant. I think we've got 20 water tankers. We've got numerous dozers, graders and excavators, and they are working double time to put elevated fire weather day. So we're looking at temperatures in the mid-40s. We're looking at low relative humidity. The wind's doing some crazy stuff again, and it'll start out of the east northeast, swing around to the north, then come out of the northwesterly at the peak of the day, so that's when we'll probably see the major fire activity. And then later on in the day, it'll swing around when the change comes through, and it'll come out of the southeasterly. So put that in context. I'll come back to this one. Go here, and eventually it'll come round and come back this way. So we will see fire runs on Friday, but nothing like we saw the other day. The weather we saw the other day, we were, I won't bore you with the maths and stuff, but we were so close to going into catastrophic. We were one number off winning lotto in some ways. Okay, so we've got some fairly significant heavy plant. We've actually got more bulldozers and graders and excavators than we have fire trucks, because that's how serious the situation is. So, multiple pieces of heavy equipment working through these areas here, establishing control lines, containment lines, and as wide as practical. Correct me wrong. Adelong. There's a lot of work being done to keep the fire out of the pine plantation. While some of you would work in the timber industry and some of you don't, I think everyone in this community benefits from having the timber industry here through one way or another. So it's absolutely essential that we try and keep the fire, where possible, out of the forestry plantations. So they're actively working there, here and further out towards Brindabella. They're putting in 60 plus kilometres of works along Long Plain Road, and then it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it goes on another road that sneaks out the bottom.
You're going to Broken Cup, the D5 and D8's going down Broken Cup.
So eventually, we'll be way down in here somewhere, working with heavy plant. At the other end, Kunama are working their way back up. ACT, RFS are going to help supply some strike teams. We've got multiple strike teams out of this area, the Tumbarumba, Wondalga area. We've got volunteers from Glen Tooma, which is West Wyalong Tooma. We've got people from Hay, Deniliquin, Griffith, Colliamberley. They're coming from a fair way, but taking into account there's a lot of fire in the landscape closer to the coast, so all those other districts that are closer to Batemans Bay and those places are supporting those fires. So essentially, post-Friday, we'll go into a 3-day window where we'll have an opportunity to put in some backburning. You will see an increase in fire behaviour right through this area as we attempt to do that. Now, what you need to know is, unfortunately this fire season, I've been to 7 or 8 fires in 6 months. It's been my experience everywhere they've tried to stop a bushfire on a road where there's scrub or forest either side of it, would have very poor results. And that's due to the long-term drought and the lack of moisture in the environment. There is just so much fuel out there available for the fires to consume. It only takes one ember, as we all know, to skip across the line, and that's it. We're in trouble, it's off and it's gone again. We are achieving the greatest amount of good in stopping fires when they come out of the timber into open country, the grasslands. It's where we're achieving the greatest amount of good. So, in summary, there's a vast amount of effort being put in around here. I understand some of you have had what we call asset protection lines put in around your properties. So that's where the graders will come in and clear away some fire breaks quickly along fence lines, around key assets and infrastructure on your farms, hay sheds, the homestead, etc. But eventually we will be putting some fire into the environment here. And that's if the fire doesn't beat us. When I say beat us, we've had a new ignition. I believe it was lightning over here in the range. Some of you may have noticed it. It was only detected this morning. But what it's done is it's brought forward the timeline that we had, or it's shortened the window that we've got to get these breaks in, so we can work off them before the fire gets there. So there is a possibility the fire will beat us to those breaks. Okay? The level of risk to this community, it's definitely there. Is it as bad as some of the conversations I've had to have with some of the other communities here? I don't believe so. But it's up to each and every one of you to remain alert, stay up to date, stay informed. If you've got livestock up in the hills and you're concerned about them, you need to bring them down into paddocks where you can easily manage them and access them, preferably ones that are low in fuel, so grasses, etc. So if the fire on Friday does something unforeseen, unpredictable, you've got a better chance of saving those livestock. Okay? Is there anything else you think I might need to cover? Okay, Mr. Mayor, would you like to speak at all?
It's taking a bit of a toll. I'd like to thank the Rural Fire Service for all the work they've done. But I would say to you, if you are worried, and if you've got people in your house that are worried, look to send them somewhere else, or look to find somewhere for them to go, because there's nothing worse than having really stressed people around. That's what I did in my house. My wife went away and had a couple of days in Wagga, and it just gave us a chance to sort of settle in. It did come fairly close to Adelong, as you know, but we seem to be fairly safe there. But as far as council's going, we just sort of are trying to accommodate all these services, and there's quite a lot of them around, so we're looking after them in the council building and trying to make sure that everything's available for them. Keep safe, and if you've got any questions at all relating to council, just drop me a line. I'll be here afterwards to answer any questions. Thanks, Brad.
Okay, so more than happy to take questions. Just for those of you who don't feel comfortable asking a question openly in this forum, by all means we'll hang around for a few minutes afterwards, and should you wish to come forward and have a chat, by all means please do so. There are no silly questions, just silly answers. With regards to the local brigade, they're actively involved, so local knowledge is being drawn upon by the incident management team here locally. But if you're a member, I would suggest that Daryl's probably going to be needing some help in the coming days. And even if you haven't been out for a while, have a chat to him, and I would imagine you're going to need to look at drawing up a roster so that you can have a crew, a local truck and a local crew available to help out in this part of the world, because you are going to have fire right up to those control lines at some point in the very near future. Again, it's not worst case scenario picture I'm painting here for you. I'm just trying to stress to you there is a level of risk here. You need to be informed, you need to stay up to date. As James just alluded to, if you've got people that don't want to be here or you don't feel safe and comfortable, there are multiple options available to us to help assist you and relocate you out of the area. But we need you to obviously register with the Disaster Recovery Centre if you elect to do that, so we know where people are going. Obviously with Batlow, it dropped from a population of, I think it's 1,200 there, to 60 odd people. Tumbarumba went from 1,600 people to 160 people. So don't feel that you have to stay here if you don't feel that it's the right thing for you and your family, especially for those people with carers' responsibilities to the old, the infirm and the young. Okay, questions? Be mindful. Put them in a cleared space that's fuel reduced, so that the grass is low, etc. I have heard stories in the past of people putting them in dams Okay, if you're going to go to that sort of effort, you know, you might want to be able to recover them later. But the worst thing you can do is drag them away from the house and leave them in the middle of a grassy paddock that a fire truck might try and drive through in the middle of a fire emergency, because the truck's probably not going to look the same when it's finished. And that's what very nearly happened. Someone did that. It was a good thought they had, but not so good for us.
Was that the same as like fuel containers? Because a lot of people have
Sorry,
fuel
sir?
containers, you know, petrol containers in their sheds or whatever, so we just get them out of the shed.
Sheds, you're probably better off leaving it in the shed, okay? But clearing around the shed, cutting down the grass with a brush cutter or something, and reducing that. If the fire gets into the shed and there's a 20-litre drum of petrol in there or diesel, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
If you can rake car around the shed, around the grass area, so it doesn't flame the go up between the tin and the concrete and catch things alight, it'll save you as well. Just get some better around the edge, get the fuel away from the shed and you should be okay. It's thin inside the shed, but it should be okay.
But I've got to be honest, we're hearing some pretty sad stories. Like the Beast Fire went pyro CV the other day. One gentleman, he'd taken all of his machinery up here on near Batlow, Tumbarumba, put it on a concrete pad between his two packing sheds. He'd done everything right, cleared the whole lot. The wind was so strong, it blew over a 4,000 litre raised diesel tank. It fell into that concrete pad, spilled diesel everywhere, and lost the lot. Okay, that's how strong the wind was. That firefighter that was killed, 8-ton truck was rolled by the wind. So I'm not saying we're going to have that sort of weather event occur here. That's extreme fire behaviour. That's what we experienced with this fire on 2 separate occasions now. That the fire behaviour that we're likely to see on Friday is very high. Possibly we might see some pockets of severe. We went very, very close to going into catastrophic last week. Very close. Obviously we need you to stay informed, start to date. I know there's been some big issues with the fires near me out this year. People seem to think that as quickly as the fire moves, we can update the app and the map. There's so much fire in the landscape, it can take 15 or 20 minutes just to change the data that produces those maps that you see in the fires near me system. And with the smoke and the issues that we're having with flying aircraft, on occasion, I won't say we're losing the fire, but we're losing situational awareness and accuracy for exactly where it's situated, because we just can't see it. So it is still a very worthwhile piece of information. Use it. The bushfire information line, it's 1-800 New South Wales RFS. Go to that. Listen to sounds of the valley, mountains. ABC radio is still a good source. We're doing the best we can with what we've got. We're here to do a good job, the best job possible, but we need you also to help us out. Your properties need to be prepared, you need to stay informed. If you're not able to look after yourself, you need to leave the area. The last thing we want, and we've had this up in this part of the world, is people choosing to stay and defend, and then when the fire arrives they go, you know what, this isn't for me, I need to go, I want to go, and they ring 000. It's very hard to get a fire truck to some of these people, and I think we lifted 5 people out of the fire the other day with a helicopter. We're not always able to send a helicopter to do exactly just that. Yes?
Just with the app, with the fires near me out, on Saturday, like I was watching Adelong, kind of went from watching that to it's too late, and there didn't seem to be any time in between where it was saying, now leave. Is there a good possibility that that would happen here as well, with how fast it moves and updating that information?
So those communities, when I spoke to them, I think this is the 8th or 9th community meeting I've done up here, they've been told the only message you'll get from the Rural Fire Service is it's too late to leave. Okay, so it's very, very fluid, fast and very dynamic situation we're dealing with up here, but I'm not delivering that message to you. Okay, the message I'm delivering tonight is we're putting in some very, very big control lines, We're going to be doing some backburning after the main weather peak goes through. The weather is cycling in a 4-day arrangement, so we're seeing 1 or 2, 3 days of low weather, This is low, benign weather for us. And then we're seeing an elevated day of wind, heat and low humidity. The fire's going to be here for at least several weeks. It's not going away until we get substantial rain, or we can put a box all the way around it and everything inside the box is allowed to burn out, and we keep it inside the box. Yes, sir.
Have you got an idea of exactly when you can start burning?
We're hoping on Saturday, but again, it's dependent